And to continue even more, like another thing that happens in the Terminal Man is that when you have something so advanced that you could do with microchips in order to fix somebody mental wise and all that, like in the early stage, another person, just random person, just comes in to the hospital and asks some random doctors, "Hey, do you have like one of those chips that you can insert it in me to help me?" And the doctors were like, "Okay, well, what do you want to use the microchip for?" "I want to make it so that I have an orgasm, like whatever I want, dude." And of course, the doctors denied it, and that dude went away. It can be seen as a joke, but at the same time, it made the doctors question themselves. If we have advanced technology like this, and the technology is going to keep advancing in such ways that we have never seen before, will humanity be able to maintain order as technology progresses? Are we actually going to be able to legalize such things and not disturb the order of humanity and ultimately destroy humanity through such technological advances? Is this for the better of mankind? Are we actually doing a good thing? How is this gonna do to the mentality of humanity when such technology is gonna start spreading throughout the world? And yeah, it's not a topic that I like to talk about, but you know, same question can be said about the AI. The boom of AI in this day and age. AI technology has exploded to the way that it is today, and it kind of makes you think, like, in early stages, are we actually going to be able to control AI in an orderly way? And the answer is no. No. We have fucked up the start of the AI technology, because you know what? Fine. Make your progress in the technology of AI, but have you guys ever thought about, legalizing stuff, make it so that AI is used in a better way? No, people are misusing it in like the most wrong ways. There's a lot of games that are made with AI. AI is using like data stolen from other people. Like, don't even get me started on AI art that is using like other people's art that is made with like effort and sweat and tears and all that. We humanity have not thought about making sure that the progress of AI is done accordingly, like legalizing stuff, making it so that it's used in good ways. No, we fucked up the start of it. Are we actually going to be able to make it so that we use AI properly through the years? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe if we wake up, we are going to be able to finally maintain a balance in how AI used in better ways than it is right now. Maybe? I don't know. Either way. Ugh. Oh my god, I went on such a huge like off topic right over there. How much time has passed in that thing, in that discussion right over there? Oof, okay.
これで前に進めるわね。
ルカシ女の子バージョンか。燃えるの確定。
Mayuri, Kurisu, and Daru are already on standby. Sending an email to a pager. Yesterday, we argued about whether it's even possible. Eventually, we settled on probably. Data is data, after all. The rest depends on the pager radio wave stations 8 years ago, but it should be fine as long as our data gets through safely. Okay. We already googled how to send data to a pager. Cause, what was it said, like, in the tips? That the idea is that the pager apparently was discontinued by 2007, I guess. For the pagers back then, you would first enter the other person's page number. Then, if in the Kanto region, enter 22. After that, you would enter the numbers to send. That's how it worked, apparently. Pagers in 1992 could still only send numbers. phone number display functions were also yet to be implemented. So your number was hidden from the other person by default. A few years after that, pagers started to implement Japanese character displays, enabling functionality similar to that of email. Okay. Therefore, the email Lukaku is about to send, it's technically not a mail though, has to be sent in numerical form. Naturally, I have a conversion table for that on hand. You can find information even from 18 years ago if you just Google it. I was pretty worried by the lack of information on pages at first, but that's my little secret. Okay.
漆原さん、あとは過去のお母さんに向けての文章をあなた自身で考えて。
But the thing is though, like, okay, then again, I don't know much about the pager technology right over here. How would you send it to... I don't know how pagers are connected between one another, I guess. In that sense, would we be able to know the number of Lukaku's mother's pager, like, back then? And...
僕がですか？
自分の夢を叶えたいなら自分自身で道を切り開くがいい。俺たちがしていられるのはその強払い程度のことだけだ。
わかりました。
We explained to Lukaku the function of the phone wave needs a little change. The numbers we're sending are 1-byte characters, so we can send 36 of them. The pager's number-to-letter conversion system uses 2 numbers to correspond to 1 Japanese character. Yeah, we established that. 2 bytes, I guess 2 bytes for 1 Japanese character, so we can send like 18 Japanese characters. Furthermore, since you first need to input 22, that means you can only send 16 hiragana characters. Okay. Oh, Lukaku, understanding everything, takes out a notebook to begin writing drafts for the pager message. Hold on a second. Faris? Oh no, he escaped! Yeah. If I don't find him and kill him, misfortune will fall upon Akiba. Yeah. His name is the End of Tutorial. He's small and nimble and he cries, choo choo. Yeah. Come here quick, Faris needs your help. Yeah. I can help, but it won't be cheap. A rat? What kind of cat girl is afraid of rats? You disappoint me, Faris Nyan Nyan. Can we just reply to this and maybe go on a side mission, maybe? Because that would be cool. Because so far, as far as I'm aware, we're not changing much with our replies right over here. I showed Lukaku the site I found. It reads page number and letter conversion. Pager typing is commonly known as two-touch typing or pager input. It's somewhat different from a cell phone input. You choose the consonant and then input the vowel. The consonants are A, K, S, T, N, H, M, I, R, W. The vowels are A, I, U, E, O. I, U, E, O. Basically, to input K, you press 2 to import the consonant K. Then you press 4 for the vowel E. Okay.
結構めんどいな。僕はてっきり831831831って打てばいいんだとばかり思っていたよ。
That'll... I don't think I'm gonna be surprised if I'm to find out that what you said right up here means boobs. That you're literally sending like a pager conversion equivalent of sending boobs.
どうして831なの
831で野菜じゃん上皇。野菜野菜野菜ってのルカシのお母様の頭にすり込めばいいのかと。
Oh, okay. So you were taking this seriously. I was thinking you were gonna do like a perverted joke. Well, actually, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Backlog. Yeah, I guess so. Wait, even A is a consonant? I guess the first one, A, is literally for A, I, U, E, O. K is for Ka, Ki, Ku, Ke, Ko, and so on and so forth for like the Japanese characters. Okay. Yeah, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and so on. That's actually interesting. 2 numbers, yeah, that actually makes sense. So for Ka, it would basically be like 2 numbers, 2, 1, which would be like 2 numbers, which would be like 1 hiragana, like, well, not hiragana, but basically Japanese character and all that. Okay. Hiragana or katakana and all.
そんなメッセージではいたずら扱いされるだけだ。
だったら29292929っていうのは？
一応聞いてやるが、どういう意味だ？
You mean meat.
肉肉
肉好きにさせてどうする？
違うよ。それだけ肉って連呼されたらね、逆にお肉見るのも嫌になって野菜を食べようって気になるかもしれないよ。
Oh, so you want to annoy Lukako's mother, like, you want to annoy the fuck out of her.
あるはねえよ。
Lukako completes his composition while we speak our nonsense. I mean, you know, guys, it doesn't necessarily mean that we only have like one chance and then that's it. How about we send like a bunch of them, like one after another? It's not as if we are restricted to one single message in order to make our message clear to Lukako's mother.
こういう内容でどうでしょうか。母さん、野菜をたくさん食べてね。
そのまますぎじゃね？
冒頭の母さんは不要だろう。余計な疑念を抱かせるだけだ。
じゃあ、野菜をたくさん食べると女の子を産めます。ひねりすぎるのもね。それに文字数オーバーしてるわよ。野菜食べると元気な子を産める。
Yeah, I guess that's better.
ちょい待ち。この変換表によると濁点も数字2個で表現しないとダメっぽい。その文章だと半角4文字オーバーする。
Wait, actually, now that I think about it, would you, when we're using only numbers to create like Japanese characters, how would you distinguish it between a katakana and a hiragana character? A hiragana ka and a katakana ka. How would you distinguish it?
ならば少し改変だ。野菜食うと元気な子を産めるでどうだ？
I mean, I guess maybe that's the reason why the pagers back then were only using the hiragana, because otherwise you cannot use like other characters and all that, like more complex characters, I guess. You can only use it for rudimentary messages, and you can only use like hiragana back then. So yeah, in that sense, you don't need to distinguish between like the different kinds of kas and kes and such.
言い方が下品じゃない？相手は漆原さんのお母さんでしょ？食うとの部分通じるかな？
ならば代案を出してもらおうか。
Kurisu shrugs her shoulders and says no more. Then it's settled.
じゃあ早速打ってみようよ。
When sending to a pager, the number encoded message is handled like a telephone number, so we enter the input into the X68000. Oh my god. Yeah. I'm not even gonna try and decode that. It will take me like a while. I mean, it's simple, but it will take a while. And the long random looking string of numbers is complete.
よし、 準備万端 OK だ。
Alright, well, bye, Lukako. We're more than likely not gonna see each other for a long time. Things are gonna get much, much worse with these experiments, so I won't be surprised. Now I just activate the phone wave, answer to the change, and have Lukako call. The microwave timer is set to 15, 41, 52 seconds. Jesus Christ. It should arrive around January 1, 1993. The margin of error is around 1 to 3 days, I guess. Leap year calculations are pain, so I ignored it. Yeah. Lukako's slender finger starts to tremble on top of the enter sub button. But yeah, I guess this confirms that it's not like we have to wait like all those seconds or like in order to send a message like that back in time. Like as long as we wait like the 30 seconds for prep time, we can send it like whenever.
いいか。起動するぞ。
Like I'm actually surprised if the phone wave actually has the capacity to input such a big number in the first place. Like you would think that there would be such a limit to like that sort of stuff. I mean, surely I cannot input that with my own microwave that I have right now, because it's like one of those microwaves with like a rotating button that you like rotate like clockwise or counterclockwise for like the number. So there's like a set amount of minutes, like 2, 4, 8. You cannot I cannot input like a specific number on it. So I'm not surprised that this phone wave can input like such a high number in the first place. Lukako looks at me with tears in his eyes, then nods faintly. Okay. Oh boy, the discharge phenomenon soon occurs. Lukako flinches and takes a step back, but then I see determination flare in his eyes. He sets his jaw and pushes the enter button. Yep. God. Oh god, such a huge divergence. A wave of dizziness hits me again. I place a hand on the table to support myself. The dizziness slowly fades. Little by little, color returns to the world. Okay, well, first things first. Mayuri, you didn't turn into a banana this time around, right? Reading Steiner activated again. Did the world line change? I look around the room. Oh, okay. Unlike what happened with Moeka, Lukako is still here. Okay, well this doesn't bode. Well, actually, no, hold on a second, this doesn't make sense. Like, technically speaking, if Lukako's sex has changed in this timeline, then we didn't really need to make Lukako into a lab mem in the first place in this timeline. So why would the Lukako be here in the first place, like near the phone wave? Unless... He blushes when he notices my stare.
岡部さん、そんなに見ないでください。
I fold my arms and tilt my head. Lukako's appearance hasn't changed a bit. I'm paying particular attention to his chest, and his chest, and his chest. As a guy, it's natural for him to have no breasts. But if he's a girl now, then that's a different story. No, I mean... I think, Rintaro, I feel like you should be looking somewhere else for that matter, my guy. That washboard isn't tiny breast level. It's no breast level.
これは失敗か。
Yeah, sure. Because in Rintaro's mind, a girl having no breasts? There's no such thing as that. No girls exist without breasts. So the eat lots of vegetables to give birth to a girl thing Karisu talked about was nothing but fringe science. What kind of scientist believes such a flimsy theory anyway?
失敗って何が？
Everyone, including Lukako, looks at me in confusion.
何って、お前たち揃いも揃ってボケているのか？たった今この電話レンジカッコ仮で。
I slap a hand over my mouth as soon as I start talking. That was careless of me. As our previous experiments proved, the activation of reading Steiner means that the roll line has changed. And I'm the only one who carries his memories through the change. Nobody else here knows what I did. Yeah, it seems that way.
いや、なんでもない。
I mean, I guess if I'm to think about it, of course Rintaro would know. Now the question is, would well, I don't think Lukako would. Would Lukako's mother? No. Yeah, I guess in this case only Rintaro would know, I guess. Though, hear me out on this one. This could be like something crazy right over here. I'm just throwing this idea like out there, but it's more than likely not gonna happen. It could be that it is a success. We sent like this email to Lukako's mother's pager, and she got the message. The plot twist: Lukako's mother could very well be a scientist herself, more specifically a time-traveling scientist that works for CERN. If Lukako's mother finds out that she apparently got like a message that got sent from the future, that could be something that could kickstart CERN's project of time traveling even more. Because I don't remember, we talked about this, like CERN's history with time traveling in this. It surely happened like much earlier. But then some hiatus happened, and then they started like the time traveling project like much later. I think that's what I remember. But the point is, imagine if sending the email to Lukako's mother kickstarted like the time traveling thing, like project, like much more, because of Lukako's curiosity over this, and thus we're going down a much more chaotic pathway because of this. That would be quite crazy. Afterwards, Mayuri and Lukako happily go out shopping for lunch at the neighborhood convenience store.
クリスティーナよ、一つ聞きたいのだが、ルカ子は。
今度はどんな変態的行為を考えてるんだ。あんたたち変態コンビは油断も隙もないな。
Jesus.
変態コンビじゃねえ。僕たちは変態紳士コンビだ。
どうでもいい。ほんと、どうでもいい。
Jesus Christ. Rintaro didn't even start his sentence, and Kurisu even starts thinking like that. Jesus, calm down. Well, to be fair, maybe she's still mad at Rintaro and Daro for not telling Kurisu about Lukako's gender. If that's still the case in this timeline, that is. Damn, I can't ask now. It's very annoying that no one remembers. I don't want to think about how Kurisu might react if I suddenly ask, is Lukako a girl? Well, if Kurisu replies, are you making fun of me, especially after the conversation that we had before, then I guess that will confirm that nothing has changed. I should wait until I get Lukako alone and check them. But considering how his appearance hasn't changed at all, it's very likely that the sex change failed. Rintaro, In that case, what did Lukako's email change? It's just like the Moeka experiment. The result is different from what we expected. The real problem is that we have no control. After I leave the lab, I had to make Queen plus Nyan at the power of 2 to think. Daro sits in front of me, waiting impatiently for Faris to bring our order. Now, the thing about this though, is that if we were to think about we keep going from one road line to another, the changes that we do would basically add to one another, right? It's not as if we are like we're changing from one road line to another based on the changes that we make to the previous road line. Therefore, the changes that we make with Moeka and changing her phone would still exist in this road line as well, right? It's not as if we're suddenly gonna find out that Moeka now has like a completely different phone. Well, actually, fuck, Rintaro, why the hell did you not talk to Moeka? We haven't even confirmed. Have we even confirmed that Moeka actually changed her phone to begin with? No, we haven't talked to her personally like at all. We haven't noticed if Moeka changed her phone like at all. Ah, you fucking idiot. I mean, maybe we're gonna notice it in this roll line too, if we're gonna meet Moeka. Cause if we're gonna notice that Moeka has a different phone, then yeah, the change that we've done in the previous roll line would add to this roll line, because we're diverging with the changes that we make from previous dive line. It's not as if we're moving to completely random roll lines with each change. So, but if we're gonna notice that Moeka still has her old phone, now we are no longer gonna know if we did the change in the previous roll line, but in this roll line the change reverted back to Moeka's new phone, or if the change sticks with us through the roll lines. We're not gonna know.
Dario, D メールについてどう思う？
すごいような、すごくないような。
すごくないと思った理由は？
フェイリスタンとのライネット勝負の結果を改変できなかったお。
Now that's a selfish reason.
何度かの実験で分かったが、D メールの精度はまだ信頼できるレベルには達していない。運の要素が絡んでくるのは装置としては欠陥だ。もっと送り手側がコントロールできるようにならなければ、実用性が低いままのガラクタに終わる。
For starters, there's the problem of how I'm the only one who can recognize the changes. Without my special power, we couldn't even be able to check the results of the experiment. Ridiculous.
確かに結果出てないよな。ロト6当てるって件はどうなったん？
保留中だ。
Although it was Tokako's mistake that cost us the prize, he wouldn't have been in a position to make that mistake if I hadn't asked him to buy the ticket in my stead. Why did I do that? It's as if Steins guided the money away from my grasp. I mean, I guess you gotta put yourself into a position. If you Rintaro were the Rintaro of that roll line with the Lotto 6 thing, why would you put Lukako in the position to use the number? Because you did it with your own mind. You gotta think of your own reasoning for why you would do such a thing, and you like put yourself in your own shoes, I guess. No, I need to think positive.
この法院京馬ともあろう男がこんなところでつまずいていられるものか。俺は諦めたりはしない。なぜなら俺がマッドサイエンティストだからだ。
Yeah, sure thing, buddy. Now continue eating your putty.
言葉の意味はわからんが、とにかくすごい自信だ。
あの電話レンジカッコ仮でゆくゆくは人間を、それも過去ばかりでなく未来にも向けて送り出すことができるように改良する。改良してみせる。いや、改良しなくてはならないのだ。
Mayuri?
I stopped by the store to buy some crunchy-kun since you said you wanted to eat them. But you're not even here. That's me. I put them in the fridge, so eat them soon, okay?
Oh, appreciate it, little one. Wait, when did I say I wanted to eat crunchy-kun? Ooh. Well, the thing is, when it comes to the changes that we're making right over here, God knows when this conversation happened to begin with, and for what For what context? Because, yeah, I don't remember Rintaro ever talking about this Crunchy-kun stuff to Mayuri. Then again, it is something that could happen like outside the story right over here. Me as a reader would not be aware of the conversations that these kids are having between each other. Between like these actual important moments.
それがシュタインズゲートの選択なのだからな。うわ
Fires is standing right next to me. Where the hell did she come from?
己フェイリス、盗み聞きとは卑劣な。
何言ってるのにゃ。京馬の声が大きすぎて店中に響き渡ってたにゃ。
Rintaro, you are the absolute worst secret mad scientist ever. It really does make you question how come the organization hasn't captured you and killed you up until this point. No. Alright, well, welcome to Future Gadget Lab, Faris, I guess. Daru is gonna be quite happy about this. Once again, I leaked classified information concerning the future of mankind. No! Alright, and we're back.
アイスコーヒーとアイスティーと猫まんまお待たせしましたにゃ。
Daru's order of cat food is one of this maid cafe's specialties. Daru's order of cat food is one of this maid cafe's specialties. It's not the usual miso over rice, but a stylish risotto instead. It's one of Daru's favorites. It's actually pretty tasty. Faris places the iced coffee in front of me.
ミルクとガムシロは入れますかにゃ。
断る。
そんな京馬には全部入れちゃうにゃ。脳には適度な糖分が必要にゃ。
Despite my refusal, Faris pours all the milk and syrup into my glass.
にゃんにゃんにゃんにゃん。
Then, speaking some nonsense incantation, she mixes my iced coffee with a straw. And all the time she stares straight into my eyes.
出た。これぞフェイリスタンの秘技。目を見て混ぜ混ぜだ。
Daru starts explaining in excitement.
普通ならドリンクをこぼさないようにするだけでも大変なはずなのに、フェイリスタンはそれを平然とやってのける。そこにしびれる、憧れる。この秘技によりフェイリスタンはメイクインにおける人気ナンバーワンメイドとして君臨しているのだ。
The iced coffee in the glass changes from black to brown. Damn, she's dragging me into her pace again. I swear to God. Next, Faris performs the same secret technique on Daru.
フェイリスタン、ありがとうございます。おいしくいただきます。
He bows deeply. Such a polite man. He bows so deeply that he hits his head on the floor. I take a sip of my iced coffee. Its bitterness and sweetness flow down my throat. I mean, as long as he doesn't bow so hard that he breaks the table like in front of him. Like, I need a table to eat my food on. That and we don't we don't want to pay for the expenses of breaking stuff in this place. God knows that we are cheap. Like, we are broke. When I look up, I see Faris standing next to me, her silver tray in front of her waist.
なんだ。何か用事か。
続きを聞かせるにゃ。京馬とダルにゃ面白そうなお話してたにゃ。タイムマシンがどうとかって。フェイリス、とっても聞きたいにゃ。
She gives me a babyish look with upturned eyes. But I firmly reject her.
極秘事項だ。部外者には明かせん。
さっき店中に響き渡るぐらい大声で話してたのはどこの誰にゃ。
だ、
ダルにゃ。フェイリスに教えてほしいにゃ。
Daru? She's targeting Daru now. Don't underestimate him, Faris Nyan. Daru is my most trustworthy right-hand man, the wizard-class Super Haka. He won't be tricked into divulging classified information. Yeah, he will. You know, in that sense, I like that Rintaro has, like, you know, self-restraint slash... He has, like, a shield when it comes to women trying to lure him or take advantage of him. I mean, granted, it's not as if Rintaro is, like, some ace person slash his only passion is for science. I mean, it mostly is for science and all that, but at the same time, he's not averse to feminine attraction and all that. I mean, look at Lukaku, like, of how he has to tell himself he's a guy, he's a guy, he's a guy. So, if and when time comes, like, he is gonna be charmed by a beautiful girl and all that. He's not totally immune slash an ace kind of character and all that, but at the same time, he is not a pervert slash he bows easily to such things. In comparison to Daro right over here, on the other hand.
実はメールを過去に送れるっていうすげえマシンを作ったんだお。主に僕が。
Which is a part of a story that we are writing together, right, Daro? Like a fictional OC kind of, like a fictional original story that we are writing about Time Machine. I mean, we may be people of science, but we gotta use our creativity selves, like, once in a while, right, Daro? And he's broken. Women are scary.
それってつまりタイムマシンってことにゃ。
そういうことになるかな。
タイムマシンを作ったなんてすっごいにゃ。フェイリスはダルニャンの頭の良さにキュンキュンしそうだにゃ。
マジで？困ったな。うへうへ。
Dumbass. What's with that grin?
フェイリスはタイムマシンに乗って時間旅行するのが夢なのにゃ。
僕がいつか連れてってあげるよ。
だる、安請け合いするな。
ところで昔から疑問だったんやけど、時間ってどんなものなのかにゃ。
何？
よく時間を川に例えて過去から未来に向かって流れてるとか言うにゃ。でも本当にそうなのかにゃ。もし川の流れだとして過去と未来に挟まれた現在はどこにあるのにゃ。それは点なのか線なのか、そもそもどこからどこまでが現在なのにゃ。
そういえば漠然とイメージはあるけど真面目に考えたことはないな。
現在は川の上に浮かぶ葉っぱだ。それは過去から未来へと流れに沿って動いていく。
I mean, there's that whole classic theory of the Big Bang, and that would be the point where time started, and the future, I don't know.
そんじゃその葉っぱに全ての人間が乗ってるって考えればいいのかにゃ。死んだら葉っぱから落ちるってことになるのにゃ。
そういうことだろう。その葉っぱのある地点より川の上流は過去、下流が未来と定義できる。
I mean, at that point, we're talking about where we go after we die, which is a completely separate thing. Like, let's say we're going to heaven, or we go to a land of the dead, or something similar. Our souls are going somewhere else after our death. Does that realm also have like a river of time as well to it?
ふにゃー。でもその葉っぱは人間にとっての現在にゃ。
というと？
人間が時間に単位を作って観測してるから葉っぱは現在だってわかるにゃ。けど例えば全宇宙すべての生き物が絶滅しちゃった世界だと現在を観測できる存在がいなくなっちゃうと思うのにゃ。その場合どこが現在になるのにゃ。
神様とか宇宙の意志とかが観測するんじゃね？
じゃあもしその神様が4次元的存在だとしたら、過去にも未来にも自由に生きることになるにゃ。
That I don't know. Four-dimensional space-time is comprised of the three special dimensions plus the fourth dimension, time. Three-dimensional beings, like humans, can only move in the three spatial dimensions. A four-dimensional being would be able to move through time as easily as humans can move through air. I mean, you know, I guess to add to the conversation that we hear about the concept of time, it's not as if we humans have always had the concept of time the way we know it in present time. Like, yeah, right now in this day and age, we think of time as an exact thing and we follow it to a T. Like, oh, I only have like 4 minutes. I hope I better not be late to that meeting that I have in like 4 minutes. But you know, in like the 10th century, 11th century, 12th century, time is not something that was measured in the same way as today, obviously. The best that people like villagers of, say, like, of villages in like the medieval period of the high Middle Ages, for example, they measured time through, the most basic would be like the bell ringing of the churches and such, which was very, very much used for monks and such to tell others, hey, it's praying time and such. And, well, there's also like the creation of the sundials, which told time, but not in the exact same way as today, where we have like seconds and minutes and such. At that point, you would consider it like measuring it by hours. Like you have like the 12 lines on a sundial, for example, and some other ways of telling time. There's like the clepsydra, and at some point in the future, by 14th, 15th century, that was the start of the creation of the mechanical clock. And one of the most best examples of that would be like the astronomical clock from Prague that still exists to this day, which is pretty interesting and such. Also, like a fun little bonus, before I end this conversation out of here about the concept of time, in China, the way that people were measuring time, like during that period, like in the 11th, 12th century and such, it is through candles and incense. People would measure like the amount of time based on how much the candle burnt. And there was like other fun little combinations slash techniques that they would use, like in combination with like the incense, so they would put like weights to tell time. And you know, by the amount of wax that would fall off the candle slash incense, like the more it fell, the lower like the weight would lower by the string and such, and that would tell time as well. So yeah, the concept of time was not always the same way as it was today, obviously, and such. We didn't really think much about the concept of present and like past and future back then. So it is a human concept that we have developed over time as well. So.
その神様の現在が基準になるなら、フェイリスたちの現在も過去方向に行ったり未来方向に行ったりしないとおかしいにゃ。
むむむ。
つまり現在は観測者の主観に委ねられると言いたいのか？
もしそうなら、過去と未来も主観次第になっちゃうにゃ。もしタイムマシンでフェイリスが1週間前にタイムトラベルしたとしたら、京馬やダルニャンの現在とフェイリスの現在は1週間ずれちゃうにゃ。
Rintaro and Daru's present would become Faris's future.
そういえばそうだな。
だとしたらそのズレは葉っぱだとどうやって表現するのにゃ？
Neither Dara nor I has an answer to that. I mean, you'll be the equivalent of like somebody plucking the leaf off the river and then just going up the stream and putting the leaf back, I guess. Other than that, perhaps nobody has an answer. Just like the collapse of causality thing that Kurisa mentioned. Like the present would be the leaf. It's not necessarily that we are the leaf, in which case we would just pluck ourselves from the river and go up the stream and then go on the river again. In which case, do we as a leaf have the power to pluck ourselves off? No. Like in that sense, it's not necessarily that we are moving ourselves in the past, but rather we are changing the location of the present for it to be. So basically what you're saying, Faris, is that we are the ones stationary, whereas time is moving in the past or the future if we use time travel. Because, you know, there is the whole discussion of how we're basically playing God by using the time travel. We are the gods who are plucking, like the huge gods that are plucking the tiny little leaf and putting it on the river at whatever point we want. So, how would that work? Yeah, because it's kind of the same thing as like Rintaro, you are like on a circular platform and like you're jumping off a external platform just so you can rotate that platform that is the roll line, like either forward or backward, and you stop that rotating platform at some point, like circular platform, and then jump back on that rotating platform. And in that case, you would be like the stationary thing, whereas you are controlling the time. It's not necessarily that we are controlling ourselves through time. We're not moving through time. We are the ones moving the time towards us. Does that mean that time machines and time travel are impossible after all? But CERN's jellified test subjects physically travel as far back as 1921.
そもそも観測者の主観に委ねられるなら時計は関係なくなっちゃうのにゃ。楽しい時間は早く過ぎるし、辛い時は時間が過ぎるのが遅く感じるにゃ。つまり主観だと時間の流れは変動しちゃうにゃ。
そういえばさ、年を取るにつれて時間の流れって早くなってるような気がするよな。
ジャネの法則だな。
Janet's law? A perspective on the passage of time proposed by psychologist Janet. For some reason, as one ages, time seems to pass by more quickly. For example, 1 year is 1/7 of a 7-year-old's life, but only 1/17 of a 70-year-old's life. By this reasoning, the subjective length of time is inversely proportional to age. It has something to do with the way we perceive time based on the experiences that we're having. Like as we grow, we experience like so much. When we experience something new, it feels like a long time. But when we experience the exact same things like over and over and over, we are perceiving it like these kinds of moments in a much condensed way. But I don't have like any other opinion about that other than what I'm saying here.
フェイリスはたまにそんなことを考えてるのにゃ。だから安易に時間を川の流れに例えるのはちょっと違うような気がするのにゃ。
考えれば考えるほどこんがらがってきたわな。
I mean, in that sense, that's why I was saying I was thinking of that example of the rotating circular platform, like a wheel. There might be the idea of how the time has a beginning and may have like an end point for the future, which is basically like the beginning of the time, which is basically the equivalent of saying that the time will reset at some point and we're going through loops and such. Like best example I can think of is like JoJo's part 6, Stone Ocean. It sounds like kind of a kooky idea right over here, but instead of like the person would usually think of like this whole experience of jumping from one road line to another as us jumping from one straight river into a different river. But I guess in my example, with the circular time, like the wheel of time and such, that would have like the same beginning and an end that resets, it would be the equivalent of like us. You know how on ships you have like the wheel, like when you turn, you basically like rotate, like push or pull the wheel so many times and such. It will be the equivalent of us rotating the wheel so much, we're basically going through different road lines by rotating 360 degrees like multiple times. If we want to go into the next road line closest to this one, we would rotate it like 360 degrees. If we want to go into the second road line, we would rotate it like 720 degrees, and so on and so on and so on, like either forward or backwards. But in that case, the closest road line like forwards and the closest road line like backwards, what would be the difference in that case? Like maybe it would be the equivalent of like the number of divergence that we talked about before. Like if you go forward, we're getting closer to 1%. If you go backwards, we go like closer to 0%. From what we're noticing right over here with us going through like different road lines and such, the number of divergence keeps decreasing. If you noticed, I actually wrote down like the numbers and such, and the numbers are increasing, like the divergence numbers, which would be the equivalent of like, I don't know what it would mean if you go close to 0%. Like the idea may be that if we reach like 1%, then we would get rid of the dystopia that John Titor was talking about. Whereas it could be possible that if the more we go towards 0%, the more chaotic the future will be, like the complete opposite of what we want. Like the closer we go to 0%, the closer we're gonna be reaching the dystopia, which would be like complete chaos. The strict definition of time, similar to the question of where is the self, is one of humanity's eternal questions. Countless renowned scholars have left this question unanswered. There's no way amateurs like us can answer it. But there is one thing I can do.
Anziruna. 俺たちが開発するタイムマシンはそういう哲学的であったり物理学的考察など関係なく時空跳躍を可能にしてしまうのだな。そうだよな、ダル。
そうそう、そういうこと。
にゃー、開き直っちゃったにゃー。でもダルニャンたちの作ったタイムマシンフェイリスも使ってみたいにゃー。ダメかにゃー。
まあ僕の権限ならフェイリスさんにも使わせてあげなくもないよ。ほんとかにゃ、約束だにゃ。
ダル、勝手なことをほざくな。
Fire springs up with joy and hugs Daru's round body. That's all it takes to make Daru look like he's died and gone to heaven. After getting some time at my queen, I leave Daru and head back to the lab. The only person there is my Yuri. She's working on a costume. Hey there, little one.
マユリよ、今のお前の姿はまるで内職で夜鍋しているようだぞ。
夜鍋って何？夜にお鍋を食べるの？
I mean, I guess I am in the mood for some French fries, as long as we fry them like real good in oil. So, as kids these days.
ちなみにね、マユシーはコスでお金は取らない主義なのです。
Seems like she understood the rest of what I said. You know, it's just a joke anyway.
趣味は趣味のままがいいもん。 それにね、自分の作ったコスを誰かに着てもらうだけで幸せなんだ。
将来は服飾デザイナーにでもなるのか？
Come to think of it, Mayuri has never talked about her future. Yeah, I mean, do we want to become a designer or something, maybe?
それは無理だよ。
だったら将来の夢は何だ？ちなみに俺は世界の支配構造を打ち崩すことだ。
マヨシーはとりあえずね、このラボでのんびりやっていきたいな。
何？生涯ラボ面宣言か？その志の高さは買うが、このラボは採算度外視なのだ。飯は食っていけないぞ。
ねえねえオカリン、ラボ面6人になったね。こんなに増えるなんてね、マヨシーは思ってもなかったよ。
6 lab mems? Mayuri, Rintaro, Dauro, Christina. Okay, so Lukako is still with us. Oh, wait, so we're still saying... wait, hold on a second. Are we still saying that Moika is still a lab man? Because if I'm to think about what I was talking about before, that, well, fuck, we don't have Moika as a lab member anymore in this. We're still considering them. I mean, granted, Rintaro did dub Lukako as lab member number 6. You would think that people would question Rintaro 6? Wouldn't it be technically correct to say 5? Where's the 5th one, if there is one? In that sense, yeah, I guess everybody thinks that Moika is still like a lab mem in this role line, despite the change in that we're thinking. I guess that's good. But how does that make sense, though? Hold on a second. I don't know. I guess we shall see. I'm not... That's a sudden change in topic. And for some reason, she's puffing her chest out in pride.
マヨシーが人質になった甲斐があったかも。
いいな。断じていいなだ。我がラボに集った者たちは全員、この俺の策略によりまんまとラボ面にさせられた連中に過ぎないのだからな。そういう言い
方は良くないと思うな。それにね、マヨシーはまんまとさせられてないよ。
あ、そうだったな。お前は自分からこのラボに来たのだった。
She joined the lab without my ever asking. She appeared in the doorway and offered to join. I thought she was a goddess sent from heaven.
ねえ、オカリン。オカリンはこれからもマヨシーのこと人質にしておいてくれる？
Is that a joke or a serious question? I can't tell.
お前は人質のままでいたいのか
Mayuri drops the costume in her hand. And then she smiles shyly.
痛いか
も。なんというド M な娘だ。お前がそんなはしたない女だったとは思わなかったぞ。
だって人質でいればね、マユシーは寂しくないし、オカリンも寂しくないから。
そうか。
Sometimes Mayuri throws me off my game. But if that's her reason for staying at the lab, then I'm happy.